Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is your button pressing fool who's touching buttons and not getting them to work, Rurik. I also play as your game master for our podcast, Probability of Demise.
Yes, master.
Hello and welcome back. We are returning to Probability of Demise, our and the potato nugget chicken thing from McDonald's. I am so confused. But welcome to our Dungeons and Dragons based tabletop role-playing gamer crew composed of pandemic friends, our POD. We look forward to sharing our stories with you and apparently the random goo guys that everybody has. I don't have any toys to show. That's not fair. You're all cheating. Oh my god.
I specifically remember you purposefully giving them away, so you have no one to blame but yourself.
I'm trying not to be sad now. Oh my god.
Okay, so at CVS.
We do apologize for our puns and memes. That's a lie. And we definitely don't apologize for the ridiculous show and tell that's going on right now. I, again, am Rick, your game master. Jess is just below me on the screen if you're watching us visually. She plays Tanzanite. Over in the little corner that way is Larissa, who's playing Trixie. And just over to my side here is Asher Lake, aka real life name Jason. I did that all backwards. And at any rate,
at this point, we're becoming the same person. It's fine.
I would love
screaming haiku at people on the sidewalk. That's not really.
I mean, that fits in New York City anytime. I mean, here it wouldn't go over so well, but you know, I'm in the middle of.
I had an adventure. I don't ride the train anymore today. But you want a New York City experience? I got on the train and there was like a. It's like, you could tell that it's going to be the crazy guy, just like sitting there muttering to himself. So he's muttering for a while, and then he begins to sing, but he sings the lyrics to like 25 different songs all together like it's one song. Like there was some Journey in there was some Heart, and then there was like some Ja Rule. Like he was just cross genre, like just all over the place.
That sounds like he was actually possibly doing an awesome show if it was good.
He went from that into like a rant about like some sort of religious rant. And then he lit a cigarette, and that's when I changed cars. I was like, all right, I'm done. But it was like every crazy homeless guy all built into one crazy dude. It was like, it was like a whole New York City subway experience in like a 17-minute stretch.
I don't think I'm going to ever be that person on the subway, but today I did hold a rooster for about half an hour and pet it and called it sweet baby names. And I was attacked by a cat, and I was pawed by a dog. So I feel like I can take those and become that person at any moment. I'm having the life experiences right now. So if anybody wants to go out in the middle of nowhere and enjoy some farm life, welcome to my land. But
hey, I was watching an episode of Monk earlier, and he went to a farm, and he got off the bus, and he was in Eugene, Oregon. I was like...
Hey, Monk was right next door. Well, he wasn't really next door. That's like a 4-hour drive. Don't know.
Closer to you than I am.
True. Larissa, do you have any announcements for us as we transition?
Let's see. If you live in the NYC area and you enjoy singing choral music, and you are either an ally or you support the LGBTQ community, and you would like to join a chorus, you should audition for the Stonewall Chorale. The season starts in September. There's 3 concerts a year, one in December, one in March, and one in June for Pride.
Keep going.
We rehearse once a week. It's really hard to do with ADHD. Just saying. I don't have ADD where my brain can split into 500 things.
I'm pushing your boundaries here. I'm just trying to see how far you can go with this.
You should see Jason. Like, the poor dude has to try to deal with me trying to have a conversation while he's trying to watch something. Like, I can't concentrate with what's going on in the TV. I can't tell my story or whatever effectively. Anywho, You should audition, and you can do so by visiting stonewallcorral.org. And I believe there's information on the homepage on how to audition. Otherwise, I believe you email info@stonewallcorral.org. If you are too shy or don't feel like you can sing, you can always support the chorus by donating. All donations are tax deductible. Also, your bi-weekly reminder to support your local artists, whether that be theater, visual art, studio art, musicians, museums, any type of performance art.
A $1,200 painting of someone's grandma on a diner wall for sale.
That's an oddly specific example.
I'm honestly like going through the Rolodex of art that I know and going, I don't have that, don't have that, don't have that.
But do you need it?
And also your local game stores.
Maybe.
Which you do have.
Yes. And I did go to a game store today. And actually, if anybody is looking for a new game to tinker around with, there is I forgot. I'll have to tell it after our break because I don't have it with me. So hold on to your hats and enjoy the post-show, later mid-show commercial that is unsponsored. So if that organization, which you will find out about mid-session, is at all willing to sponsor us, they could always do that. Yeah.
Just for half a second, when I glanced at your screen, like at your box, I thought that you had painted the logo on your wall behind you.
Oh, that would be so cool and really dorky.
What about like a neon sign? A rainbow neon sign would be fun.
I actually have thoughts about getting a neon sign in my new space, but it won't be actually neon. I think most of those artistic pieces are not using neon in actuality anymore because of it's neon.
I used to have a neon piece of art. It said Bud Light.
Bud Light. All right. So thank you, Larissa, for the announcement information, and anybody who's interested in the Stonewall Corral. They actually sound really good because they work so hard at it. So you definitely, if you're interested in doing some awesome music with some pretty dang cool people, go do it. I've been the audience member. I've not been in it. Although if you want Jason's opinion instead of Larissa's, you can always just, talk and chat and say, Jason, tell us the deets.
Yeah, I've been in the audience and I've been in the corral. So if you want to decide, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have any specific things to share or unspecific things to share, Jason, before we jump in?
Rocky's potatoes now. That's news for everyone.
Oh God, there's potatoes everywhere here. I would literally be starved if I didn't partake of the potato, and they're disgusting.
I love it.
Jess, you are muted right now, but it is time for your jingle and word of the day.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. Okay.
Word of the day.
Word of the day. I spilled tea on my keyboard. That's not good.
Ooh.
All right. The word of the day is trajectory. The curved path along which something, such as a rocket or a rock, moves through air or space.
I love how it's a rocket or a rock.
I was trying to think of something else, and I was like, I can't think of literally anything. I was like, a rock.
It's okay.
One's career path.
Career path.
Well, they're both career paths. You can be a geologist who's interested in flying rocks in outer space and become an astronomer, which is still kind of the same career path eventually. So,
Office Depot Master, not a sponsor.
You might want to mute yourself before you do that.
I got him muted. All right, so until he's ready, he's going to be muted just so we don't hear the lovely sounds of. I wonder if that sound effect came across at all well or just sounded like a horrible thing.
Can you still hear it on mine?
A little bit, but it's okay. It's good. It's actually it helps a lot. I'm going to go ahead and play our intro song once more, and then we are going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome back. And because Larissa is a genius and keeps me on track and nobody else does, because they're all busy spraying their keyboards with air or looking up how to destroy me with miscellaneous last-minute information bits for their character.
I'm certainly not adding my feet right now.
Larissa reminded me that we
It's a
need to
good one,
come
though.
up with a commercial content topic, etc., for Jason, so that Jason has time to be completely distracted while we play today. So, Larissa, it is your turn, and then we're back to rolling the dice.
All right. The product I came up with is ear hair straightener.
Ear hair straightener.
Straightener.
I'm going to do
Not
some
a
visuals for myself.
trimmer.
Ear,
Straight.
hair,
Mm-hmm.
They're
straightener.
not straight. I've never seen a straight ear hair ever. They're
I
always.
mean, I don't mean to be gross about it, but my ear hair all come out straight, but they come out from the side. They don't come out from the inside yet. So I'm looking forward to the old days, the old person days, where I have like curly creepiness coming out that I have to like shave
I've
off.
got both.
Nice. Nice. All right.
I have a mole like on my ear right here. That, like, or maybe it's this one. Yeah, like a little hair just grows.
Where's
out
that
of
mole?
Which side is the
Wait,
mole
pick
on?
one. Got like 5,000 of them.
Where's your TikTok sign? This conversation is a TikTok. Oh, painful.
You little llama.
So welcome back to our world of post-apocalyptic Earth that is being taken over by all of the features of magic and fantasy that was poo-pooed over the last 2 millennia or plus. As people on Earth became technologically advanced and future-oriented and their worlds shifted and changed. But of course, with the progress comes a price, and environmental catastrophe and other things led to the downfall of that era. And we now sit in a world where we created it, but I've taken a lot of license with all the ideas that were planted as seeds from this awesome crew of folk, and we're kind of delving into new spaces. And last time...
We created it, but really it was your shitty environmental attitude that created it.
Yeah, if you had recycled, wouldn't be a problem. We wouldn't be playing this game.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done to yourself. Now you have to watch the whole 3 hours.
Look what you made me do.
But at any rate, last time, having met with a new friend, fellow person wielding powers that didn't exist 500 years ago, you all, through a set of situations and dice rolls, ended up becoming overly empowered and also having a major catastrophe table rolled on by the DM, which launched you forward an unknown number of years into the future, so that when you woke up over brimming with potential but no direction for it, you clambered out of what used to be more bunker style space but has become a natural cave in many ways, and stand upon the place that used to be the center of a village, only to see that most of the village structures are overgrown and collapsed, and settled around all four of you around the campfire. In the dark of the night, the only one to stay awake was Zuchi. And Zuchi, who was played by our guest Nick, who is not going to be with us today, Zuchi got a chance to meet Bonnie, a much older Bonnie, and a Bonnie who seemed to be a little bit more centered within herself, and also a bit of a guardian of this space, known by the plants, or to the plants, and accompanied by 3 very large feline creatures. The 3 of you slept maybe not peacefully. There were some dreams and disturbances through the night, and woke up to seeing Bonnie and the three felines, but also a large object hoving into view overhead. The shadow cast first, giving you awareness of what was coming. And then looking up in this moment, you see a strange wooden structure.
In the sky? Wait.
In the sky.
Okay.
Looking more closely and trying to interpret wooden structure flying high, you begin to make out more details. The wood appears to be very similar to the woods where Trixie grew up, refined into long, thin timbers. But between each timber, you see a pulsing, dark glow, as if there was a different material sandwiched between each timber. And that's pretty much all you see until Tanzanite, a very familiar voice, shouts out to you. Sweetie!
Dad?
Oh, it's so beautiful. You can't quite make him out because the rising sun is currently casting a huge silhouette, kind of blinding you. A little bit of the solar eclipse effect.
And you said the other two are awake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go stand behind Trixie. Just be like, scared.
What am I gonna do?
As soon as you go and stand behind Trixie, you hear another voice. Trixie. Trixie!
Oh, no.
Oh! Stand up straight. Shoulders back. Don't hunch. Oh, it's so good to... Oh, we must really do something about your hair.
Oh, God.
I grab her shoulders and straighten her up and start trying to brush her hair down. Be like, stop it.
What? You stop it! You started it! God, I can't. That looks so freaking
Hey, kiddo. Your mom might have come over here, but she is a bit busy. Oh, this is so... Ah.
Hi?
Hi.
And all we can see right now is just like a wooden thing floating over us.
Wooden. The most you can make out is wood kind of towards... You know how it is when something is too close, yet also too far away, and all you get is that shadowed effect from the sun.
I'm gonna be stepping backwards and just trying to
Eventually,
far enough away to see what I can see here.
Yeah, eventually you step back and go ahead and roll a perception check. But eventually you step back far enough, Asher, that you can make out an outline of the top of this construction. And what'd you get for your perception check?
10.
10. So you can make out the outline of the top of the structure, and it looks like a series of crenellations line the outer edge. And there are various contraptions that seem to be in motion up above. And you can make out Knee looking just as he ever looked, standing on top of one of the crenellations in a fairly precarious position. And mostly you make out his silhouette, which is distinct in your mind since you've known him for the entirety of your life.
I'm going to be like, oh, I don't think that much time has passed, and he looks the same. Wait, never mind.
I don't. This, and I yell back over my shoulder. This is new, right? We didn't have this.
I'm just gonna look at Bonnie and be like, "This is pretty crazy." Oh,
when you go to look
This is
for
a lot.
Bonnie, you do not see her.
oh.
Because we didn't know she was there, right?
you woke up and saw her right before this giant thing kind of took the center stage.
Oh,
And you
And it's-
see Trixie
we
right next to you,
recognized
your
her right
bag of
away?
materials. Yes, she still looks like Bonnie. She still
Yeah.
looks as she was, just older, a little bit more serene in those few moments, and you didn't have a chance to speak with her.
Can you define older?
No, because that would give away how long it has been.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
If you roll another perception check, I can. Well, yeah,
They're not just going to give it to you. Jeez.
26.
Okay, maybe they will.
So with the 26, I'd say that this is Bonnie that you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
She appears to be a mature adult. She does not appear to be in a state where the youthfulness is still there necessarily, although she doesn't appear to be terribly much older than you all were. But she was kind of feature-wise the youngest of you. And you have no idea how long her people live, but there was definitely the signs of maturity and a few scars that hadn't been there that defined a period of time having passed. Greater than half a decade at least, but as for the maximum, no more than 2 decades she would have appeared in that time.
In my head, I was picturing like Bonnie with like a wooden staff and like gray like hair, like just like an old druid that was like living in the woods the last 73 years waiting for us. So that narrows it down a
the
little
idea of the hair being all not gray but in her bluish green tinge that she had before, but and a staff, it is an accurate depiction. If you think Earth Mother imagery, that definitely fits with the look that she had achieved in this time period.
Did she
Earth
set
Mother
up
with
the
a
bow?
hint of fish.
Fishy Earth Mother.
Like a frog.
Old Mother Frog.
know, of the land and the water. I guess that's more of a toad? No. Yeah, toads. Toads do whatever.
Okay. Trixie and Tanzanite.
Don't blame any of us. We went to school in America.
Asher backed up a bit, seemed to get a better glance of what's going on, but the two of you haven't really. You're still in the shadow of this object. What are you up to, if anything?
You said Bonnie's not around all of a sudden?
No, and you, even as I say this and you're kind of looking around and trying to catch sight of her, you see the 3 felines slowly start pawing and walking into the woods.
But Bonnie! Wait! Kitty cats! Dad! Can you come down?
The entire structure just starts to vibrate suddenly, and it starts to lower, and you see a rope ladder drop below, and the rope ladder drops, and you hear another voice, "As low as we get, young miss. I mean, what do we call them?" And you hear another voice. Well, they are the. Do you think they know what's happening? Let's go with young miss. Young miss, we'll be down in a moment. And you hear other voices kind of speaking back and forth. And you see your father being lowered in a contraption that looks like a bit of a complex bit of leather and straps, kind of a harness situation. And he's the first to arrive on the ground. But in quick succession, others are being lowered and making their way to the ground.
It's from your dad's mom's private collection, I'm just saying.
And then others come down the rope ladder almost as soon as your father touches ground. Trixie, you recognize the behavior, if not the uniform. These are guards. Guards of Overton, but none that you recognize by face. And they quickly create a perimeter with an efficiency that is uncomfortable, because while you had a well-trained militia as a member of Overton, none were this precise and this seasoned. And the alacrity with which they quickly create this perimeter and the wary stances that they all hold is troubling.
As they create the perimeter, I'm just gonna like look behind me real quick. We're kind of slow, quick, and then like step inside the perimeter and then like walk back towards.
Okay, so as you look behind yourself a little bit, why don't you roll a perception check?
Who are you psting at?
You turned away from the mic and you were talking like
You're
this
way
so
back
that the
here.
mic couldn't be heard.
Why are you still that was 30 seconds ago.
Because I was still trying to get your attention to let you know to be futurely aware of it.
Okay, so as you peek behind yourself, and I'm going to go with your old perception check, is just holding that for a little bit rather than having you re-roll it. You can make out the felines have settled down and they've almost created a perimeter of their own. I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background. There's a robotic vacuum here. It drives me crazy. It goes off on its own and does weird things.
Do you have a Roomba?
It's more than a Roomba. It's like some sort of jacked up Roomba with too much cyborg and not enough chill.
I am the Terminator. I am here to vacuum your floor.
And it does not stop. So if it tries to come in here, I'll have to shut the door. So you are all sitting there as this is happening. And Asher, you can make out the three felines almost creating a secondary perimeter. What you also notice is the foliage has entwined itself and almost created a blockage or a barrier to the people that are currently coming down. It's locking this little glade off from any crossing. And you definitely get the sense in the look of this that this is not intended to keep things out, but to keep you all contained, to not traipse over places you're not supposed to be. So your family and friends begin to all clamber down. Your mother, Trixie, is both ready to rush forward and fuss over you, as is her wont, and also kind of held back by something. Something seems to hold her in abeyance, which is maybe a relief to you, maybe not. But it's definitely unexpected. Jess, Tanzanite, and Tanzanite, you've known your father for a long time. But he was never going to become old, but he is old. Something has happened. He's showing all the signs of age that an elf near the end of their lives shows. And this is not right. Asher knee looks just as he is and seems to be checking you out. And I need you to go ahead and roll a charisma saving throw.
I love how you said that. Tanzanite.
That's a nat 20 plus my 9.
Oh, Jesus!
So I think what you see, Asher, and if anybody's also watching this at the same time, they would see it. But it's almost like Nee walked up mime style and hit a glass wall. And you can see it in every aspect of his face and body. Everything just went smush flat for a second, and then he backed up. And he looks at you for a few beats more, and then his grin just spreads huge. You. And then he just kind of like chortles in his own strange, creepy, wizardy way.
Hi.
Hi.
How have you
Well,
been?
they've done it. It's true.
We've
You
done
see
what?
a couple of
I need to point out to you that we have no idea what's happening right now. We went in there, and then there was a big explosion, and we came out, and everything was different.
Yeah, like an hour ago, maybe.
Yeah, like last night. Like at least 8 hours ago. Quick long rest.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We did sleep. Okay.
Yes, you all have a long rest as well. But all the changes you brought in the last you were instrumental in all the help you sent.
We didn't send help, Nee.
What did we do?
You see a individual who it's not a being that you are used to in any of your experience in Overton, and you all have seen a lot of different folk. They are bald, but have long pointed ears sticking out a little bit. And if they were smaller, you might think that they fit the trope that had gone around in your lives of the little green people in the hills. But this person is very, very tall. Their hands seem to be taloned, or they have extremely long fingernails with great manicures. Their feet are bare and also have long talons or well manicured nails. They look a little emaciated, but also muscular, and their skin kind of varies from a pale yellow to greenish to brownish tones, as well as gray. And the skull is just long and angular, which isn't quite elvish in its setup because of the deep set eyes and the flattened nose. They don't have any hair. This being doesn't have any hair. And you all hear in your heads, there's much we must talk about, and explaining you are owed. But first we must get out of this forbidden wood.
Why is it forbidden?
Not having heard the voice in your head, do you say that out loud, or?
Yes.
Okay. So as you say that out loud, you quickly see the individuals who flanked out as guards kind of close in a little bit, and one who wears insignia similar to a captain's level from your memory, Trixie, speaks up and says, there's a guardian of this space who has made it clear we're not to be here.
It's okay. I think we know her.
You may know her, but we also know her, and she is dangerous.
Bonnie!
Well, why don't we meet you? Why don't we meet you somewhere else so that we can at least talk to her? Because, like we told you, we've kind of just arrived in this moment, I guess, very recently. So we haven't had the chance to interact with her since we went into the cave, whenever that was. But I would personally like to speak with her. So if you being here is going to prevent that, can we meet you maybe outside of the forest? Is there another location?
You see Nee and this individual make eye contact with each other, and then Tanzanite, your father, looks at them and turns back to all of you. Will you be safe?
Of course.
You trust this being?
It's Bonnie.
Your father clears his throat. Make it so. And quickly, as if his word was the command that they sought, everybody swings into action. And they are strapping him into his harness again and lifting him up, climbing the rope ladder. Nee is levitating himself up. Trixie, your mother takes half a second, but looks over her shoulder at Tanzanite's father, and at his just barest shake of head, immediately heads up the ladder as well. I love you, dear.
We'll catch up soon. I promise.
Could anybody who's interested in the very quiet mutterings of the guards as they make the last pathway up to this structure that is floating above you, roll a perception check and let's see what you catch.
11.
You mostly can hear that they're muttering.
Yeah, I don't think mine is much higher than that. Nope, it's not. It's a 10.
17.
Why is it with me rolling 2s?
17, you hear a couple of phrases that jump out at you because they seem to be directed towards your group. And Zuchi isn't necessarily included in that, but you do hear and different glances. You see glances thrown Zuchi's way, but you hear the words, "the chosen," and "the God's children." And then they are up, and this vehicle seems to transition down away from the forest, and it's almost as if as it gets away from the woods, the trees seem to relax. Stiff branches suddenly move in the wind again, and this vehicle, still visible to you but at a much greater distance, is hovering over the roadway.
Hey
Everybody's
guys.
still staring your way.
Those guards said something about being chosen and that we're God's kids, children.
Great.
I don't know what we did.
I don't know either. Let's
Let's go talk to Bonnie.
Yes. I'm gonna look around and see if there's any change in the cats or if she's like reappeared somewhere.
I mean, the cats have moved into the woods at this point, and you can probably, with Asher's support, quickly make them out since he did spot them. But there's no sign of Bonnie.
I'm gonna go over to like the nearest cat and be like, boop.
Roll an animal handling check,
Oh,
because I want to see what's going to happen.
oh no.
Does Bonnie's kitties eat you?
12.
Okay, that's not bad. You boop the snoot, and a large tongue, as big as your face, gives you a very rough lick from chin to forehead.
Yay.
And then
Like,
a paw
so
comes
you
up.
You remember us.
Paw comes up and bats you down, and you can hear commotion at the ship far away as this paw comes up, and the paw is as big as his chest.
I'm just gonna like do one of these and go, "It's fine!"
I'm just gonna be like, oh,
Hey, can you
Oh, yeah.
I can yell for her too first. Just
We'll try that first. I'm just gonna yell Bonnie. Bonnie!
I'm gonna be like, Kitty, can you take us to Bonnie?
As you yell Bonnie, and with the
There's
cat's
the trees
done,
too.
could you roll persuasion?
Me?
Yes.
Oh god. I'm not very
You can do it with
persuasive.
advantage because Asher
thank
is
God.
playing with Kitty.
Come on, go. It's a little better. 12.
Okay. When you do this, what happens is like it's not Bonnie that you see, but you recognize enough of this thing that's occurring that you align it to possibly being Bonnie. But a little bit of a maelstrom or a little minor whirlwind kind of parts the branches of the trees and the foliage and shapes itself by pulling in bits of dust and sticks and leaves, and it forms up and you can make out the shape of a humanoid being, and you hear, "You've been gone for a while."
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
"I'm here, but I made some choices that I needed to make to be able to stay here and take care of you
What do you?
if you ever came back."
Well, one, we're sorry we left. We didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't mean to.
Oh, it's been a good life. Don't get me wrong. It's just... You sent me help, and that was okay.
Help?
When you say that, what do you mean?
Also, how long ago did we go in the cave?
Oh, it's been... Well, the seasons have turned 8 times.
Bonnie, you're gonna make me do math.
It's no math. 8 times. It's when winter has come 8.
Oh, winter's
times.
come 8 times. Okay, yeah.
I've had to blow off the frost 6 times because 2 of them were years of fire, but first dragon fire and then elemental fire. But that's also when I met and became this. I did say at one point that I wanted to be master of everything above the water, above the water, above the water, or something like that. Now I know it just is the breeze and the gust. And you hear a little giggle as a little breeze wafts through and she says, "Well, I might be the gust. You're the breeze." And she seems to nod off to a leaf that is just floating through the air for a moment before it disperses.
Is there someone else here? Besides the plants and the kitties.
The help you sent.
We don't know what you're talking about. We didn't send any help. At least not on purpose.
Well, they said they came because of what you did, so... I mean, they've come all over. I traveled a little. I guess I travel all the time now, too. But all of them came because of what you did. You opened... What did they call it? I don't even know. But they're all here. And not all of them are here. Some have stayed, but I don't really understand what that means. And some gave up, and they gave over what they had to others that are here, and some stole. Some stole what wasn't theirs. And
Is anybody else more confused?
Yeah, Bonnie, who were they and them? And because when we went in, we had the thing that was in Trixie's backpack, and there was a room with a bunch of them, and then those all went off, and then the next thing, we woke up, and we came outside, and years had passed. So we didn't do anything.
you can see
actively.
that she's just confused, her facial expression. But you did so much. I mean, there was the horrible things too. The dragons and...
Oh yeah, that was him, and I point to.
You can just see Zuchi kind of like shrink
Zuchi.
in as this like one item is like a sore point for him, and you can just see his body just retract a little bit.
I mean,
But
he
they're-
didn't like mean too, but like that was him.
Awful things came, but also wondrous things came. So it wasn't all bad.
I don't
We're just
I sit on the ground and I put my head in my hands. Just like my head hurts. In
So
real
how?
life
Okay,
and in
can we
game.
start with this? Okay, do you still have a body, or have you become one with these trees and stuff?
I can be in my body for a while, but I'm not actually with these trees. I'm
You're with
truly the master of the above the water. I'm master of the wind.
the wind.
And if things go well, my friends and I will retain that domain and keep it from those who wish to use it for awful things.
Great. All right. So check 1, you still have a body. 2, you control the wind. Next question. Who is trying to use the wind for bad? You know what? Back that up. I don't want to know that. Who did we send that helped you?
She gestures to empty air to you. Breeze and storm, although storm's not here right now. There was a problem up north. You helped bring in the green, and I think
Are you
that
sure this wasn't just all you?
it definitely wasn't me. These, I've been told many times that they come here to reestablish themselves. It's been millennia since they've been able to spread their influence. They were locked out. And
I turned to Tanzanite and was, is this something to do with your deity and like something about sisters and being freed and
It's starting to kind of sound like that.
that's the only thing I can think of, but I don't understand why everyone thinks it was us. What I turn back to Bonnie. What specifically about Storm and Breeze made you think that it was from us?
it wasn't that. It's this, that Breeze and Storm said that you were the catalysts. You broke the bounds.
Okay. Now this is making a little bit more sense.
I
So
bet that was the
there-
explosion did something.
Yeah, there was like a lock that was keeping them out of our world, and when the explosion went off, we let them in.
And you made you made everything rich again so that they could exist. So they could walk about freely, but now they have to establish themselves and fight for what is theirs, because it's all become murky. It's changed. The beliefs have changed, and they have to find their way again.
Okay.
And why did our families say this was a forbidden forest?
You can see that this little whirlwind kind of moves back a little bit. Because none are allowed here. This is the domain of my people. Not the people I was, but the people I am becoming. And we need to protect it if we're going to retain our domain.
So, safe to say that if we go catch up with our Overton friends on the floating thing, you're not going to want to come with us?
Oh,
Are we allowed back?
Can we come visit you?
I'm everywhere now. I might be busy, but
Oh yeah, you're the
my
wind. The wind's
power's here, so if you need me, just... And she nods at Tanzanite. Do that thing you do, and I'll come as quickly as I can. And if you want to come find me, just just talk to a little vine again. That was cute.
Well,
No. What-
Suchi kind of looks very uncomfortable at that statement.
I just kind of look over my shoulder like,
All right.
Guys, I don't
I guess
You have
know
a lot
what's
to do.
happening.
I guess our
And I
families
can
have been-
see it within you. You need to do something quickly or you're just going to explode. And then you can see that there's like a little bit of a giggle that emanates from multiple sides all around you. And then it's silenced quickly and Bonnie says, it's not that funny. They might actually explode.
Who's exploding? Are we
uh,
exploding?
I mean, don't you feel different?
I mean, yeah, of course. But I didn't think we were gonna explode. I thought maybe I'd grow a tail or something. I don't know.
Excuse me?
I like your tail.
Yeah, okay.
I-
Interesting example, but okay.
If you
Okay,
don't have
my
anything
hair would
else,
turn a
your
different color.
friends are getting impatient and I might have to destroy their ship.
Oh,
Please don't.
please don't do that.
Uh,
Okay. Zuchi, are you coming with us, or what's your deal?
And Zuchi nods and yes, I don't think I belong here anymore. And your people can fly.
Not when
Apparently.
we left.
Who's to us?
Yesterday, that was not a thing.
Hey, Asher, maybe you do your fly thing and then we can get out of here faster and then we can kind of...
I think I couldn't land on that ship.
I'm not saying you have to land on the ship. I'm saying they can
Fly
fly
to
and we
it.
can fly and both find somewhere to go. Otherwise, we'll have to go through the forest. It just might be quicker.
How far away is this ship?
It's not terribly far away. It's just down at the roadside, which is the village was a little set back, so it was a little ways off. But it's like where that road
So we were
is.
like the village was on a hill, so it's at the bottom of the road that went up the hill.
Kind of the same idea, whether it was a hill or not, but
Oh,
the
okay.
road is off to the side, and it's at that cliff's side. I think one thing to note, though, is the road is no longer a dirt road; it is paved in some sort of stone.
I mean, I guess we could go back to the road, but I think if we all get out of here faster, that might be better. I'm not saying you have to. It's just
I
a
think if I
suggestion.
did that, I would break something. I don't want to hurt any trees or.
Is the clearing really that small?
Now it is. It
Okay.
definitely is at this point.
All right,
It's
well-
all become much more overgrown. The village is being reclaimed.
Then we better move fast.
As you say that, you can see the grass bend out of your way and creating a pathway through what will eventually probably be a little gorgeous meadow. But the grass kind of just bends away and leaves a clear pathway for you to get down to the road.
I kind of look around for a second. I go, is that my bag? Wow, my accent just came out right there.
Big.
Shut up!
You don't hear Bonnie
Bag full
anymore,
of
and you can't
bagels.
make out where she would or wouldn't have been. But one of the large cats paws at the bag a couple of times before turning and just walking off into the woods.
Wait. Does it stop?
Roll an animal handling check to see if. Wait.
As I do that, I would have tried to pull out like a piece of bacon.
Oh my god, is that
Provided-
bacon still good?
I mean, we traveled. I mean, it's probably nuclear
Pull it out
reactor.
of
I
your-
hope it's from your pocket and not your bag. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not from the bag. It's from like my.
Oh, it's pocket bacon.
Pocket bacon.
Same as my maple syrup. Like it's on me at all times. This is not going to be good. 11. Yeah, I went low single digits today.
You say wait, but even with that, the cat continues to move. It does look behind you and seems to quirk its head to the side a little bit before turning back into the woods. Can you roll an insight check really quickly?
Me?
Yeah.
Ugh. It's going so well tonight so far. 10. I have not rolled above a 3 yet.
You have this inkling that these felines could be tamed. They are big enough to be mounts for any of you, and it would just take time and some negotiations. But right now, you're definitely getting the sense that this one has other things to do with itself.
I walk back and I kind of just grab my bag, sling it over my shoulder. I'm like, let's go.
Bye,
As we head
kitties.
out,
Bonnie,
I want to.
thank you for being our friend and for helping us and for coming with us all those years ago.
Sorry. I tried to mute myself in time.
Don't mind Tanzanite, she has radiation up her nose.
Asher, as you say those parting words, you note a pine cone break off from a tree up high above you and crash down, and then it just rolls to your feet, which shouldn't be possible. It's much too far away from where it first fell to your feet, and it's kind of got a golden glitter about it.
Because you know who's really freaked out by inanimate objects that move on their own is Asher.
Not at all. But this pine cone, glittering a little gold, is now at your feet.
I will pick it up.
All right. So anybody else doing anything else before you head out, or you're all heading down towards the ship?
I was gonna say as I walk out, just kind of like in the general air, I just wanted to say, we'll talk soon, Bonnie. It's not a goodbye. Thank
See
you
you
for waiting
later.
for us.
As you're having those thoughts and you
And, like,
feel this
walking.
breeze kind of like cross your ears, which is a very intimate act, but it crosses over your ears, and then you can kind of feel like a little bit of pressure urging you forward, but it's also kind of like the gentle pressure of a friend maybe giving you their version of a hug before it passes and you're moving forward down the way. All right, so you arrive down at the road very quickly. It doesn't take long at all. There is this, now that the sun has risen more, you can make out more of this strange contraption. It's what you would imagine a bunch of people tinkering with something that they didn't fully understand might create, and then another group had to come along and fortify, and then another group had to come along and do some other things to deal with the fortification. So there's a bit of layered hodgepodge structure to this ramshackle floating thing. And even as Howl's moving castle has more sense to it than this thing does. That at least had an anthropomorphized face to it. This is just add-ons and things with indescribable purpose, all layered and latched together, and they've lowered another ladder for you to climb, and you can see the folks up above eagerly waving you up.
I'll be like, who wants to go first? Trixie, I think your mom's probably waiting to pull you off the ladder at the top.
Which means she definitely doesn't want to go first. Maybe I can go first and distract her a bit.
Okay.
So I'll go up first.
Okay, so you go ahead and go on up, and quickly are up there, and there's a lot of people busy about tasks, but maybe more than need to be busy about tasks up on this bit of deck, because the sideways glances are obvious.
Who is there? Someone like? Is there a guard that looks like young and like doesn't necessarily have a rank yet nearby?
Go ahead and roll a perception check. What's she doing?
19.
With a 19, you don't necessarily know the insignia, but Trixie may have shared a few things in your travels about her life and what some things mean, and you're able to make out various insignia that indicate rank. Even the individual who seems to be pushing a broom, they have insignia that indicate some sort of rank, and nobody appears to be young.
Swab that deck, airman.
There's a bit of
Okay, is there one that looks super nice and approachable?
well, what I was going to finish saying is that
Oh,
you get the sense that this is a distinguished duty for those who've shown themselves to be successful. That being on this ramshackle mess is a high-level achievement. But you also garner that, at your quick glance around, that they all seem to have friendly expressions, and they all seem to be more or less jovial. I mean, the one pushing the broom has kind of like a grizzled beard that just no mustache, but the grizzled beard comes down and there's a couple of lines of white through it, but it's like it's just started. So he's just started to hit that graying phase of becoming an older gentleman of some sort, or an older person in a military branch.
And no one here looks familiar other than our immediate family.
I mean,
like,
your
no one
family
looks
look familiar.
Like, none of these people are like people we knew from like that ceremony or something, or class, or
No, it's actually very odd. There's nobody who, based on what Bonnie shared with you with the age piece, there's nobody who would appear to be the age that you would be if you had been in this world.
Okay. Well, with all that, I'll go up to the one sweeping while everyone else is climbing up. And I'll be like, hey, excuse me, sir.
Oh, no, sir. It's fine. What may we do for you, Chosen?
That. What does that mean? Why are we the chosen ones?
That's what the gods tell us you are.
The
godlings.
Godlings.
Yeah. And he kind of like does that like head nod thing, and you can see a trio of they looked at first like the squirrel folk that are Larissa's people, but they actually look more like foxes now that you give them a second look. And there's three of them, and they all seem to be conferring with each other, although their expressions vary. One seems very serene, one seems frustrated, confused, and another just looks a little lost. Those are from the sevens, so the 3 sevens are the most confusing, but most willing to help of those you sent to us.
Are they all? Do they all look like that?
Oh,
all
no.
of the 7?
Oh, no. Each of the 7s is a different. Well, each trio of the 7s, unless the 7s are together, then they. Oh, this is complicated.
Okay, so there are 7, and each of the 7 has a trio.
Oh, they're 7s. So, a scholar said, and I don't fully understand this, but there's the 7 deadlies, the 7 virtuouses, and the 7 inconveniences. But they all kind of mash up into trios.
So you said deadly, virtuous, and what now?
Inconvenient.
Inconvenient. Those all have negative tones to me.
Virtues?
I guess virtues doesn't. Anyways, that
Sin.
isn't important.
Well, it's none of them are terrible. It's just that somehow their domains got split up, and they're trying to. Well, some of them are trying to reconcile it. Some of them are actually interested in going their own ways, and it's very confusing. The whole God talk doesn't make sense to me because I didn't really worship anything before this all came down.
Worshipping is hard and confusing and a very individual act, so that's okay.
Yeah, and there's some ancient things, and even as this conversation is going on, and he kind of describes for you as Asher and Trixie climb up. I guess Trixie's the last.
Yeah.
Okay, but as he's describing this general idea of there being 21 beings in this specific group that he's talking about that have kind of some sort of goal, but their current goal aligns with the goals of the mortals of the world. And that there are other groups that, as he kind of explains, he hints at there are those who want to do things that are not maybe in the best interests of your people. And occasionally there are battles, and the way he describes it, it sounds like that they're in a war that they may not be winning.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. Asher, you're up there, and Trixie's right behind you.
I'm gonna go meet them.
Okay.
There's a lot of confusing things happening, guys.
We got that.
And then I quickly try to explain everything I just talked about as we're like walking to whatever we're about to do.
The ship is already in motion, and it seems to be heading in the same direction of your travels that you had originally been on.
Are we?
We'll finally get to Canyonville.
I asked the person nearest to me, are we not going to Overton?
You can head back there from Canyonville, but we have to finish the supply run, and it was convenient to go out of our way.
We were on the way. Got it.
Well, and your people were on the way, so it's going to be a quick trip. I would settle in somewhere comfortable because we're picking up speed now, and good luck to you. Hope you don't get nauseous. And the individual you talked to just kind of scurries back to where they were supposed to be going, almost like they're embarrassed to have been caught with you.
Where's Nee?
You haven't seen Nee or Tanzanite's father since you got up here, but you can tell that there is a section of this deck area that's closed off that is probably, it seems to be fancier, probably where people of their station might be. Trixie, as soon as you are kind of, as Asher moves towards Nee's space, I'm guessing, you are exposed. And in this moment of exposure, your mother approaches, but rather than, she seems to be stopping herself. And
Hi, Mom.
I don't know what you did in total, but thank you for unlocking the dam.
We're not sure either, but I'm glad we could help.
There's been some moments where people thought you might be the worst thing that had ever happened, but the gods seem to have you, at least the ones that are helpful, seem to have you in good stead, so your reputation has been repaired.
So the other person who didn't, leave with our group, who's here now,
Did Zuchi come with us?
Yeah, Zuchi climbed up the ladder with you.
Okay.
He's come in standing in the background.
So he had to do with the dragon with all the heads, and that happened right before we went in this cave with. There was this thing we found. There was also one under Overton.
Oh, yes, the Palladium. Apparently, the Palladium and the five-headed one that you mentioned are bitter enemies from millennia ago.
Okay. So the dragon came, and then the container started making. Well, it had been making noises, and then all of a sudden, it looked like it was very angry. So we tried to bring it down into the cave, and then that guy said we should go with it and be there when it went off. And like, because we thought it was going to explode, and it did. And well, I don't know about him and Asher, but I passed out, and I think Tanzanite passed out too. And when we woke up, we were here/now. So I don't know where we've been since the dragon came, but that was last night for us. Does that make sense?
No, but half the things that folks say these days don't make sense. I mean, this doesn't make sense. And she holds out her hand, and on her palm you see a little fire start and swirl up.
That's cool. When'd you learn to do that?
When you release the gods. And she closes her hand, and the fire goes out. It's been useful for cauterizing wounds.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Well, I have to.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't say goodbye before.
It's okay. You're here now. And this
And
time she does go forward, and she full squirrel on squirrel hug happiness. It's a fur ball.
And I just kind of like squeeze into her, and I go, I missed you.
What is sticky on your paw?
You have to try this.
She pushes you back and looks at you.
Just forget the paw thing, but just take a sip. For me. Just a sip. You don't need a lot.
She tastes it. I mean, it's maple syrup, but... Oh. Yeah. I love you, sweetie.
Love you too, Mom. And I take the jar back, and I storm off. I go over to Zuchi, and I go sit by him. It just goes to show how upset I am that I go sit by that dude. Ugh.
All right, Asher, you've walked into this space. You can see Tanzanite's father, Nee, and the person who seemed to be functioning as the captain of those who hit the ground before, as well as another individual, that individual who I described before that spoke into your minds.
Hello?
Hello.
You remember when that five-headed dragon exploded out of a mountain?
A lot came out of mountains, and you hear there's been a lot of things happening, and so which five-headed thing was this? And
I don't know. It was a large dragon-looking thing with 5 heads.
I think that flew over a while. Yeah, that did fly over, but it didn't stop.
Bonnie said it was probably about 8 years ago.
8 years ago was when all the gods came out. That's
Yeah, that was yesterday for us.
It happened everywhere. Can you describe this five-headed being a little bit more detail?
Can I? It was very far away. It was. I don't know. It was similar to the dragon that we saw, that you showed us, under the city, and then, but there was 5 heads, and it was bigger than that. I think.
Oh,
Like we were miles away, and I could see it pretty clearly, so it was pretty big.
That's my lord's bitterest enemy.
Yeah. But my main point, that was for a frame of reference, that was literally yesterday for us. Like we skipped forward 8 years. We're very confused as to what's going on.
Well, the world's changed. And then the Githzari leans forward, and you can feel that presence come into your mind. It's not like they're invading. It's just a gentle query. And Trixie and Tanzanite and Zuchi, all of you also feel that presence hit your heads. And you suddenly get what feels like a mass of information just ready for you to grasp if you choose to. If you are choosing to grasp it, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
19. That's a natural 20, Breath.
Yeah, it is +8.
Wisdom saving. 23.
Wow, all of you rolled really well. I'm gonna decide what happens to Zuchi right now, because I feel like with all those high rolls, Zuchi's gonna have something else. Oh, not too terrible. Natural 10 plus. Okay, that's not. He's unconscious, but no big deal. So
He's gonna be so pissed.
Kind of works out since he's not here.
yeah, I mean, it does make life easier for me at least. But the three of you kind of get like it's like if you watch The Matrix, that moment where all that data is just running through. It's that at first, and then it becomes clear as you persevere through your own understanding of the world and the universe, and it starts off with scenes of something very otherworldly, a place where nothing seems to be in control except for this central space, and the central space is being held together by the very Githzari that you are sharing memories with in this moment. And you can see that they have been watching for millennia the world that you are a part of, that they have seen it before you were there, before you were even twinklings in your family's eyes, before your parents were twinklings in their parents' eyes. They've been watching and waiting. And they've been so hopeful that your world would become available and be a place where they might resolve some inadequately defined problems. And suddenly, through these little portals that they seem to be looking through, almost like a vast array of etheric security cameras, there are explosions everywhere. Explosions like what you saw. There are beings appearing, ripping themselves out of their cages or own planes of existence and into the world that you know and have lived in it your entire life. And each of these explosions seems to spread out with a wave of energy that slowly disperses as it spreads further and further out, but it's everywhere. It's in places you've never seen before, you could never describe. This is occurring. Mountains are reshaping a bit as they explode outward. almost like they're volcanic, but they're decidedly not. You can see one scene is of Overton, and that kind of draws your attention, all of your attention, especially yours, Jess, because it's someplace you've never seen, but you're aware that it's Overton. But Trixie and Asher, you are aware of this space because it's where you met a dragon. And that space suddenly expands, and the dragon that was resting there, that seemed too immense to be described, suddenly races out, and the angle changes as it starts racing out and starts chasing up the tunnel network that Trixie and Asher, you traipsed through, that Tanzanite, you went down a little bit to try to find your friends, and races up and out in a space that it shouldn't fit through, that there's no way this immense body should ever have been able to go through. And yet when it explodes out into sunlight, you see that it's not the dark dragon that it appeared to be deep within the cave, but it's a being of almost pure white. It's opalescent. It is a gorgeous but still terribly frightening being, and it immediately races off from Overton in the direction that you think would have been your direction, and by proxy the same direction as the five-headed creature. And as it's racing, you can see smaller beings following in its wake. You see other draconic creatures that come out of nightmare, creatures that come out of storybooks and fairy tales, and other beings starting to erupt and immediately go to battle with each other, or immediately seek cover and hiding. And you see this Githzari staring at all these things, wave a hand, and most of the scenes go dark as you see the five-headed dragon and the platinum dragon suddenly become embroiled in some sort of battle and roll off to the north, to the northwest of it. And even as they roll off, you are in this flying contraption, and you still have your own sight. And you, those of you except for Asher, who's inside of an enclosed space, you look to the direction where they would have had this battle, and you see a vast waste where lava bubbles forth, where some sort of arcane battle took place, a vast space that who knows what was there before, because it is not there now. And it seems to be below the level of your very, very speedy vehicle. And then just as you're kind of like making that connection and you sink back into this space, you see the Githzari open a portal. And Asher, you make out the details of this portal. It makes sense to you. It clicks in your brain really well. And you have this moment of, I bet I could do that. And then it steps through. And you get flashes of meetings between this being and others of its brethren with your people in Overton. You see Grand's Brands meeting with them and immediately going about building a fleet of trading operations, and suddenly the space zooms to a strange community nestled within a canyon. And in that space where the canyon is, you can see the peoples becoming lively as it fast forwards through, and suddenly pouring some sort of chemical on the bottom layer of their canyon, and their city starts descending down as they build downwards. And each time that they pour this acid on, material floats up and as if it's been released from confinement, and they catch it in huge nets, shipping it to Overton, shipping it to Nee and Nee's apprentices and Nee's former proteges, all working tirelessly to convert this into something usable, while on the battlements, Trixie's father and his other compatriots in arms fight off hordes of strange creatures that come and try to take over or destroy the walls. Dragonfire burns parts of the land as various creatures take advantage of different situations. You see the populace of Overton and Canyonville at odds with each other over trade issues, and then with the destruction, which you also witness, of Fisherton as it's burned to the ground. They come together, and Canyonville and Overton link up in arms. Envoys from the sailing world come and besiege Overton for help, and you see representatives leaving. Tanzanite's mom takes sail and goes to parts unknown, missives in hand. You see Trixie's father leading a group far to the north. Again, their destination unknown. Asher, you see your mother, and you see her ordering guards to arrest and then decapitate the former mayor of Overton. You see people your age that were involved in a certain ceremony, their eyes vacant, being led into simple jobs as whatever had taken hold of them left them mindless husks. You see the young people desperately trying to take up the slack and also taking on new duties as they go into the operations of preparing for battles and wars. The Mage Academy's tower is cut off in some sort of strange magical mistake or attack. No one is sure. Nee's tower is also broken through the center and is a cracked space for a while as it slowly gets rebuilt. You see the Gathari tendering their aid and promising that they can do something now, but others need to do more later. And this particular Gathari establishing a domain within Overton and the entire landscape of the city, solidifying once again the Mage Tower, resealing itself, the magic school rebuilding itself, and almost at every thought and willing moment that this individual has, things are repaired, refined, or improved. And then the people go to work on those spaces and try to emulate them and to add to them and to make them better and bigger. You can see the individual that you're currently getting all these visions from meditate with someone and seemingly hand off the maintenance of this construction or protection or realm of understanding and being to another, and going up to Canyonville and trying to do the same there, but finding that none of their abilities work there. As the folk of Canyonville continue to extract the substance that floats, and the substance that floats is then shipped down to Overton and down into Underton to be worked on and refined. And Tanzanite, you see that your home space, not necessarily your home in particular, but the space in which you lived, is being converted over from temples and complexes to an industrial space. People working hard at manufacturing more of these types of floating fortresses. Because in another flash, you see that these are all that they have to fight against incursions from flying beings, to keep these flying beings from doing insurmountable damage to the town below. You see other envoys from various spaces come via boat to Overton, and alliances form. You never see Trixie's father again. You never see Tanzanite's mother again. You do see a new member of the wall guard, a large bear-like being who definitely looks like that cleaver that they've wielded has gained new significance in their hands than what it may have been used for in the past. And the visions cease, and you're released.
So what you're saying is it's going to be difficult to get a syrup refill.
Can you say that again, Jason?
I said what you're saying is it's going to be difficult to get a syrup refill.
Possibly.
Is it really that bad?
Yeah, really bad.
Wow.
It's a huge difference. You being close is so much better.
What's wrong with my microphone today? That's literally like 6 inches. That shouldn't make that much of a difference.
Okay, so you all are quickly coming upon, and those of you who are outside, as this releases your minds, you see a town you've never seen before, but except through this vision, and you see that this is a strange space where it's a canyon, thus Canyonville, and at the top, it's all farmed areas. Some of it has scars and burnt out areas and things like that, but you can see that the city itself is built into the canyon walls, and it is vastly deep. In the initial visions, it wasn't as deep as it is now, and as your strange flying structure zips into that space, you can make out that it goes so deep that it's lit 24/7 by artificial lights, because it is too dark and too little light penetrates this deep space. And so they have to become a city in the dark. And there are points of anchorage for this strange vessel that you're on. And you've been slowing down for a while, but it was hard to tell just with the speed and with the number of shifts that it was making as it was going through the different spaces and all the new information coming in, as well as just this vast download of, let's get caught up on 8 years of what's happened. And you come to a bit of a moment of rest as this strange vehicle is trying to dock. The Githzari, who was sharing with you all, bows its head. You are the locusts.
The locusts?
Yes, those small creatures that I hear that they eat all the crops and change everything for the better. Am I getting that wrong? And you see Nee just giggling to himself.
Yeah, locusts don't. I don't know. I've never seen a real locust. I'm gonna put my bag down. I'm gonna take out that huge, 150-page contract or whatever it was that we had for Canyonville, and I'm just gonna set it in front of Nee and be like, "Sorry."
You can see his face just. You failed me and exceeded me. Let's call it a wash.
I'd probably get 40 pounds back in my bag. That was a big contract.
You definitely feel 40 pounds lighter, regardless of the actual weight of the contract.
Thanks for that. Ow.
You hear in your head.
So, I'm curious, as we had, that telepathic connection.
Yeah.
How much, besides, the information they're sending, what about, the Githzerai? Is that what it is? Githzerai?
Mm-hmm.
His intention.
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, same. I don't know if it would matter. Come on. Not a 2 or a 3 or a 1.
18.
18. Okay. With an 18, what you get, like, even as it's sharing all this information with you, you get the sense that this is a very intense people. And this individual is maybe more intense than others, but they also have this sense of calm within chaos, and that they seek out chaotic spaces and try to create calm for those chaotic spaces. And that this is part of their reason for being here. So they've left their home to try to counter the chaos that is currently enveloping the world. You don't know why you weren't able to pierce their mind in any way. They also have a very, as well as being very, what's the word that I used before? As well as being intense, they're also very strong-willed. And so even as you felt yourself garnering that intensity, you also felt that strength of will and a burning sense of righteousness. Not in a religious way, just in a they believe that what they're doing is the right thing.
Doesn't necessarily make it the right thing, but okay.
All right.
I'm just gonna be like, Nee, we should talk later.
And you need to. You're a mess. All four of you are.
Stupid.
That's my prestidigitate noise if you're new to this podcast.
If you're just joining us.
All four of you are just a wreck internally. You need to.
Oh,
You need to
internally,
do something.
I was gonna say.
Oh.
People keep saying that. What do
I
you
feel like a
mean?
wreck. I feel very conflicted.
What do you mean do something? Like I hate to.
What are we supposed to do? So Zuchi, who is sleeping out on the deck,
Sleeping's a light word, I think.
or maybe he's in this room. I just know he's unconscious.
He's unconscious.
No, he got knocked out.
He got knocked out.
He said
he's
that where
napping.
he somehow knew. Sorry, I almost like metagamed right there. He somehow knew that like we would get power from staying within the explosion. But
Well, you definitely have all this, and you can see his eyes are, now that you're looking at his face and having a more intense conversation, you can see that his eyes are completely white in this moment. I can see it all coursing through you. You better use that before you get. You look worse off than the.
how do we do that?
You do whatever you want to do. This is your chance. It's like this is like drinking 16 bottles of the finest at the Blue Tavern right before you have to do an experiment. You're just gonna be set.
Does everybody keep forgetting that we're kids?
Well,
We're just-
he drinks.
Yeah, but that was
See,
the
no,
A lot
ending.
of I don't.
No, definitely. You've seen me drink in that quantity, but you always assumed he went off to sleep it off.
All right. There's a lot to process.
Well, take your time until you explode, and good luck.
That's the second time someone has said that. Why are we exploding?
Well, we found that most of the people who were exposed to some of the stronger centers, they suddenly developed powers quickly. But if you were too close and you didn't try to do anything,
Nope. I'm not exploding. I'm gonna go figure something out,
Tanzanite,
guys.
Tanzanite, can you teach me how to meditate?
Yeah,
So I
let's
don't
go,
explode?
guys. Let's go.
Okay.
I'll lead us in a something.
I
Let's
just
do
want
it.
to. I don't know what's going on. I just want to go. Sorry. I just want to hit something.
You should.
You see
Because-
the Githzari's eyes light up. My
What?
proteges would love to work with you.
Fine. Tell me where to
You-
go.
You look like you like to knock some things around.
Yeah, well, right now that seems like the only thing that's going to make any sense.
Beautiful. So, Tanzanite. You're going to go find a place to meditate, and you're taking Asher with you?
If he wants to come, yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so the two of you kind of go as it docks, and it's everybody's going out of their way to be helpful to you. At least everybody who's been on the ship.
I will say I don't want to get too far away from Trixie. Like, I still want to be within, like, eye shot of her. So wherever she's going to go train, I'm going to sit near that.
Okay, so then you're kind of following Trixie as the Githzari
Yeah.
leads her
And I
in.
drag Asher because he's going where I'm going, so.
You end up in a space where you can see kind of a sand arena has been placed. It is open and yet enclosed at the same time. There's a sense of openness. There's no place for an audience to be seated. And the Githzari do not seem to mind you being with them, but they do stop you and Asher at the door. And then without a cue, seemingly, two other Githzari come through other doors into this arena space. High overhead is just this arched stonework of the cliff face. You're within the cliff face at this point, and it feels that strange combination of a bit of claustrophobia because it is an underground space, but just the size and almost kind of like making you, especially Tanzanite, think about Underton. Just that sense of serenity that exists in such a space. And the two Githzari look at you, Trixie, and you hear in your head from both of them. Are we to train you?
Well, I didn't necessarily want to hit people, but
If you hit us, we will be surprised. Are you
Okay.
willing to be our disciple? For the day.
Sure.
As you say, sure, these two Githzari settle into a couple of stances, and I need you to roll initiative.
1 second, sorry.
Asher?
It's gotten dark this late. It's very bright.
AKA really Jason at this moment. Jason, if you would like to personify one of them as I shared before, you can roll initiative too. Jess, did you get a chance to read that and decide if you wanted to do it?
What? No.
Okay, so you didn't read your notes. Okay.
What notes? No.
So I will do the other one for this time, but Jason, were you able to find that? And
19.
Jesus.
awesome. And what'd you get for yours, Larissa?
Same. I rolled a
Ooh,
14
so-
and I have a +5 initiative.
Okay, let me go to... Sorry. What is your dexterity, Larissa?
20
21.
20.
+5.
And
Yeah, we
this
have
one-
21 on the.
Yeah.
Plus
Huh?
5.
Valentina's... Yeah,
I'm-
no, don't
I'm
worry.
Don't
reading
give
a
it
different-
away.
I'm reading a different character sheet, not Asher's.
Yeah.
We're sneaking up on you.
Okay.
I get it. I
And
get
this
it.
one has a... they only got a 9. Okay, so... Larissa,
Yes.
you think, what could these things do? And then suddenly, one of these Zerth just comes at you. Jason, what is your Zerth doing? For its
It's going to do a thing.
It's going to do a thing.
It's going to just like try to flank and come in at a different angle.
okay. So are they flying or walking?
Walking for now.
Okay. So very quickly, Trixie, you see this being able to just move as fast as you do, crossing the sand ground and at your side in moments. You are within striking distance, or are you staying outside of striking distance?
I mean,
This
I
is
want to hit.
for Jason.
I want. Oh,
This is for Jason.
you were just talking to me.
I will stay in striking distance because I'm going to strike.
Okay, cool.
Hi, Mara. Sorry.
Oh, that's a good point. You know what? We should take a break first. So we'll hold on to the initiative order that we have right now. Jason's Gith is about to do his things, and there's a puppy dog who needs to go have a potty break. So we are going to go ahead and go on break. We will see you all after this is over, and look forward to talking to you in about 30 minutes, which will be a time in the future. I'm giving
9:15 should be fine.
9:15?
6:15 for you, or 5:15.
That's all perfect because I have this button now.
Ah, nice.
Hello and welcome back. I just really quickly before we dive into the fake commercial, I'm going to have a fake commercial for something that I mentioned earlier. This is the game that I was talking about. Tortuga is what it's called, and it's a series actually called Dark Cities, which all have a similar thematic thing, but they're just all set in different time periods and stuff like that. It's by Facade Games, or as I like to call it, Facade Games. Now they're definitely never going to sponsor us, but they're really cute little boxes because they all look like books, so you can put them on your bookshelf and they all line up. There's this one and a few other ones, but it's a social deduction game, and I love those. Like if you love Among Us, this is a board game version of that type of space. But there's Tortuga, which is that what you'd expect from a piratey time period. There is Salem, I think, Deadwood, and then something else that I cannot remember. And they're coming out with more, but they call it their Dark City series, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm excited to play this with my nephew and nieces, although the youngest niece may not be playing with us, but it's definitely age appropriate, 8 and above, and very fun. So if anybody's looking for a new game to play, and if Facade Games ever wants to sponsor us, I promise I'll say it right in the future. But right now, for our real imaginary commercial, Jason, go ahead and unmute yourself, or did I need to do that?
I didn't know I was muted. Hello.
Hello.
Are you tired of dealing with unsightly ear hair? No matter how much you trim it, you just have to trim it again in a few days. It comes out of your ear canal and grows on your earlobes, making you self-conscious and ruining your chance at happiness. What if there was another way? Now, there is. Stop trimming ear hair. Let it grow. With the patented ear hair growth and styling system from POD Technologies, you'll grow luscious ear hair that makes you the envy of the folks at work who used to make fun of your unsightly ear hair. Looking at you, Carol. Anyway, first, you take our ear hair. First, you take our ear hair growth vitamins, which contain a mix of keratin, biotin, vitamin B, and caffeine, and definitely not methamphetamines, to help you add inches to those previously tiny hairs that came out of your ears. Once you've grown yourself a big old ear bush inside and out, use the POD Technologies ear hair straightener to really bring that ear hair to life. Once you've straightened your ear hair, ignore that putrid burning smell. It's normal. Turn to our line of ear hair superhold products and ear hair styling guide to choose from one of 3 fashionable ear hair styles, including ear pigtails, ear spikes, and the Pippi Longstocking. Once you're rocking these awesome eardos, you'll change the trajectory of your social life and nobody will ever make fun of you again. Eat shit, Carol.
So amazing on so many levels.
I feel like you got to rebrand that later on as it develops and become earlocks.
Oh God! Well done.
Thank you
very
much.
I think next session's word of the day needs to be ear bush.
Ear bush. It's a bush of the ear.
Oh, geez.
God.
Yeah. Welcome to the ear bushes.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing like a comment. Are you tired of ear hair? Try Explodium. Explodinium by POD Technologies. Thank you, Andy, for that awesomeness, actually. So I messed up and didn't get us to a break when I should have. So now that we're back, we're going to revolve right back to that incoming battle.
All right. It's nice to remind you you're human.
If I ever give the impression of anything otherwise,
that makes one of us.
Just check in with yourself a little bit.
I'm definitely not an alien.
Oh, that cracking noise of the chair that somebody just cracked felt like my
It's
back.
mine.
And it was I wanted that to be my back.
I just assumed it was my neck. I didn't realize it was a chair.
Usually when I'm on mute, it's because I'm moving in my chair. Otherwise, you hear.
Oh, yeah, right there. Get to that. What is it? The C7?
I think if they're like C4, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's the explosive one.
Oh boy. All right, so
That's what explodinium sounds like when it explodes.
so you all have we're in battle. Asher, I'm sorry.
Go.
Jason is beating on Trixie via
I'm trying to. Just
Zerth. So go ahead and roll your attacks.
I'm going to start easy with an unarmed strike.
Okay.
Nat 20.
All right.
Okay.
So that would be
I'm starting easy with a there's a 30 hit. That's my question.
Does a 30 hit?
No. I'm just kidding. Yes, it does.
Okay, so that is blah blah 3, 5, 8. Uh, 31 damage.
So in one punch, Trixie, you just feel all of this come at you, and they look like they're ready to. They are ready and capable of throwing more blows in the same moment. Are you going to go ahead and throw those other blows, or just keeping it one strike?
Does it does the end of my own turn count for the other things, or does it have to be somebody else's?
I think it has to be somebody else's.
Okay.
It's another creature's turn.
Oh, the at will stuff. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Let's see here. Now leave it there for now. That was the opening blow. That's
Okay.
a pretty.
So Trixie, this Zerth has just like zipped around and come up to your side and then whacked you, and it looks like they are capable of whacking you a couple more times, but they just kind of sit back on their haunches a little bit and look at you expectantly. What you gonna do?
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to charge and try to hit them.
Okay. They're right there, so go ahead and roll your attack.
Probably not.
Rick, I'm gonna Discord you a question.
14.
14 does not hit.
Okay.
So you take your fist and you just kind of meet air, and it seemed like they almost knew where you were going to hit before you hit.
21 for my second one.
That does hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll the damage for that.
Sorry, my brain is a little
It's okay.
preoccupied with said headache.
It's because I punched you in the head for 31 damage and I give a migraine.
It's 9, and I'm going to do bonus action flurry of blows.
Awesome. Roll those attacks.
Let me just mark off the while I remember. And I'm also going to use Hand of Harm on one of those, the first one, I guess.
Okay.
Although I feel like, well, I don't know. That is a 19.
That misses.
Okay. 22.
That hits.
That is another 9 points.
Okay.
And then
18 points of damage so far.
and then I'm going to use my movement to, I don't know, just I think jump back, and I think, do I have the ability to not take?
I think if you use a bonus action, but you've used your bonus action.
No, because I'm mobile. When you make a
You have the
melee
mobile feet.
attack,
Yeah, you can.
yeah.
Yeah. Lily, you can't
Okay.
be down there. Sorry, my dog is currently visiting me.
Oh, I kept looking around for Boomer. I assumed it was mine.
She thinks that it's okay to just come over and snuggle in, which is cute, except there's cables everywhere, so she could just strangle herself, and that would make me really sad.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, because you have mobile, you just zip away, and there's no provoke opportunity attack. As you finish that out, the one that has...
As she finishes that, I'm going to teleport to stand right behind wherever she moves to.
So even as you move, that Zerth that was after you just shows up right behind you. The other Zerth takes in what's been happening, and at the same time as the one that teleported to right behind you, this one teleports right in front of you and stares into your eyes for a moment. And is going to... They're
Poke your
going
nose.
to put a wall of force up right behind you. And they whisper in your ear as they just... This huge feeling space kind of blocks the path behind you where their partner is, and they look you in the eyes, and in common they say, "I think you can do more." And then they begin to try to fly away, and you have an opportunity attack if you would like to use it.
Yeah. $28.
Hits.
Where is it? Sorry. 5 and 5 is 10.
10 points of damage. Great. Cool. And that goes back up to Jason's Earth.
I am going to cast telekinesis,
Mm-hmm.
which is that an attack?
You have the ability to... You're moving a
Actually, here's what I'm gonna do.
Smaller than huge, so...
I'm going to use telekinesis to push her up against the wall behind her and just hold her there.
Okay, so this is a strength check to you,
Yes.
Larissa, Trixie. So you're going to roll your strength check, and it's against
Sorry. Alarm.
That's fine. It's against the Zerth's...
Wisdom, I think.
Yeah.
Spell save DC is
Spell save.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So it's a strength check, not a strength save, right?
Yeah.
Or is it a saving throw?
Good question. I'm going to double check.
Check.
Strength check.
Yep.
Sorry. 16.
Yeah, so you feel yourself just dragged up against that wall that was cast right behind you, and even though this being doesn't have physical access to you, they seem to be manipulating space and pulling you up against that wall.
I think technically I did teleport behind her, so I think I'm on the other side of that wall, so I pulled her against it.
Yeah,
basically.
you pulled her against it kind of towards you is what I was saying. Yeah, so like if you imagine that one Zerth teleported behind you, then a force split you from that Zerth, and then this other Zerth pulled you up against that wall. It's almost like the two of them are like toying a little bit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't expect much, but they're also playing a little gently at this point so far, maybe. Is that all you're going to do on your turn, Asher? Or Jason? Jason's Earth?
I believe that's all I can do right now.
Okay. Trixie, you've kind of been like pulled around, jerked around a little bit. You're kind of trapped. And you did have some experiences recently, but whatever you think you want to do, whatever you think makes sense for you.
I guess I don't understand. Am I now like grappled or being held?
You just got
Or did it
shoved up
just-
against the wall.
Okay, but now I'm free.
It's you. If you hadn't, if you
Until
had
the
one,
end of my next turn, the creature is
You're
restrained in your
Yeah.
So
so do you need
You just
what
can't-
restrained means? It just you can't move unless you have something that gets you past being moved. Do you know what? Do you need me to go over what restrained
your attack
is
rolls
again?
have disadvantage, and
Disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Yeah.
But your speed has become 0.
so anybody that you can reach, you can hit or try to hit.
Except I can't because you're behind a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So there's literally nothing I can do.
There is something you can do. You did it recently,
I don't.
and you just have to. And like it's like these creatures have purposely trapped you in this space, trying to provoke you into something.
Well, I guess I'll try. Well,
It doesn't know how.
It's stuck in its head.
why can't I find fucking Step of the Wind? Well, no, I can't use that either, can I?
You can. It's the key point that you're spending.
But disengaging or dashing won't let me do anything.
You can try it.
I guess I'll try.
Okay. So you feel yourself expend that key point, and both Zerth's eyes light up a bit. And as you move and control your own body, and the key, that the recent experience you had where you were suddenly in places you imagined yourself to be, you can feel that key linking up. And you have a microsecond to decide where you want to be.
Directly behind the one that was right behind the wall.
Okay. So as you do that, you blink into the ethereal plane, and suddenly you're free of all things on the material plane. And in this space, you can see everything of the material plane. And it's not that you understand this plane or anything like that, but you realize it just like looking around that this is the kind of the transition space you were in when you did teleport previously. And in this space, you can see other things exist, things that aren't there. And taking that moment to focus and look, you look right behind the Zerth behind you that was behind you, but now you're in this space. You can see everywhere and everything all at once. Time seems irrelevant. And as soon as you glance there and focus and think, I want to be right there, you are there. And then you're back in the material plane. You have your action.
But it's
And you're-
not. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I guess at that point I am going to, because now I'm just pissed off. I'm going to try to. How tall is this being in comparison to me?
They're quite a bit taller than you. They're not huge beings, but they're medium-sized beings. But you are small, so they are
Tanzanite sized.
twice your height.
So if I were to like kick up with my foot, Karate Kid style, would it reach their neck?
I think you'd have to like flying roundhouse it.
Yeah, I mean, that's your attack. You describe what you think your attack is going to look like. If it succeeds, that'd be awesome.
I'm trying to pin them with my foot against the wall of force that they created.
Okay, so you're trying to reverse that whole thing for them. So let's do an attack roll for you, and Jason as Zerth. Would you go ahead and roll a strength check? So it'll be just a roll +3.
That is a 7.
You got this, girl.
Is this an unarmed attack?
Yeah, just an unarmed
Okay.
attack.
Then
as
it
an
would
attack.
be 16.
So distracted and
Hit him to the wall.
and clearly used to creatures not of this plane not being capable of doing what you just did. There's a momentary surprise, and Jason's Earth is not ready, and your foot just thump, and you, Jason, your Earth is currently pinned to the wall by a squirrel's foot. That was your action. Is there anything else that you can do, Trixie?
Just as my free action, I'm going to say it's not so fun, is it?
Cool. And as your turn ends, the other Zerth that had flown up into the air looks down. And, potential.
I'm going to say temper, and then teleport away back on the other side of the wall.
So using your second legendary action, you've teleported to the other side of the wall. The one that I had was just saying potential, and then is going to it's going to fly down to you, and it's going to try to toss you up into the air.
Using its
Can
hands
you-
or using
Can
a
you
spell?
fly? And it's going to physically try to toss you up into the air. So if you're dodging this, if that's kind of like, describe what you would do as something's coming up to you and clearly advertising that it is going to try to do a throw.
I mean, there's nothing I really can do, I think, in terms of like an act, unless it's like a reaction.
It's
Or you
it's what
just-
you would naturally be doing in battle. This is, don't use mechanics. This is,
Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
looking for you to narrate and storytell your battle with this creature, and I'm trying to give spaces for that. So this creature is very clearly coming up to do a martial arts throw, and you have the opportunity to try to do something. Would you dodge it? Would you lean into it and accept the throw and flow with that? What, like, would you just resist? What would you do in reaction to something coming up to you, very much advertising that it is going to try to toss you?
Just remind me of my surroundings. Is it like an arena? I'm trying to remember.
It's kind of like an oval shaped arena, sand on the ground,
Okay.
domed pretty highly.
If possible, I guess I would go see where the wall is behind me now that the other person transported away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is possible, but to like turn and run. I mean, I didn't use my movement on my turn. I guess I don't know if that still works.
Don't
But
worry
I
about that.
Run up up the wall, because I haven't tried that yet.
This being is trying to toss you. How do you deal with them trying to toss you?
That's
Like-
what I'm trying to
this,
say, is that I'll run up the wall and try to actually land on them so they can't, like, to use gravity to try to. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, so it's.
I
I'm
understand
trying to
it's not a
imagine
combat thing.
So this is, rather than trying to engage with them via strength or dexterity, you're actually going to do a runaway sort of move.
Yeah, like an
Okay.
invasion kind of thing, and then to
Awesome.
like counter.
So go ahead and roll a dexterity. Let's call it, as you're trying to run up the wall, let's call it an acrobatics just to see what you're able to do. And I will roll a strength throw just to see.
Like, I feel like it's hard to throw someone if they're coming at you from the direction you want to throw them. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah,
I'm trying to like counter. I'm trying to use gravity and like I don't know. It might be too technical. It's just the thought.
No.
it's
Just trying to paint this picture of you see
Ain't
them
gonna
coming
work.
at you, and you run towards the wall, and then what happens?
I fail critically.
Okay, so there is a moment where you're running up towards the wall, and you're ready to take the foothold on this wall of force, and you misjudge where it is, and your foot kind of catches air, and you stumble forward, and this being comes up behind you, and they put their arms right underneath your armpits like they're going to toss you, and they also didn't do so well in their roll. And instead of anything interesting happening, you both kind of fall backwards into a tumble of Squirrel and Githzari.
A massive limbs.
Okay, Jason's Earth.
As a free action, I'm just gonna. My Gasari is doing this.
Wow. Slow clapping us both.
Yeah, well, we both rolled terribly on that. I was kind of curious. That's why I was asking you what you might be able to do or wanting to do, because I was like, well, that was terrible, so now we've got a mess.
Okay, I'm going to fly over the wall, land in front of her, and give her the full force of the Gasari with a triple unarmed strike.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it. Roll the 3 attacks.
15 does not hit. Does a 20 hit? Yes, I believe. Briss, what's your DC?
Yes, that hits.
Okay, does a 27 hit? Yes, okay.
So 2 hit.
So
roll the.
This is a shitload of dice rolling, so give me a second. I'm just
Is
gonna
it all
open
the same number? Just put that in the
Um,
computer.
It's
Why is this wet? Sorry.
it. 41 damage.
so. As these hits come in, you can feel that there's the actual physical hits, but there's something behind their fist that actually seems to hit at your confidence, like they're trying to break you down. Can I have you go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw?
Jesus.
If you roll a total of 15 or above, you'll recover some hit points. If you roll below that, you're at the damage that you took.
21. Roll a
Beautiful.
17 and my wisdom
Okay.
save is +4.
So go ahead and roll 2d12s.
I never get to roll you guys.
They're fun little shapes.
Ooh, 17.
So you actually resist that psychic damage of 17's worth, and you recover 17 hit points in that moment.
Yeah, girl.
It is your
I
turn.
feel like
17 points.
It's a weird,
17
like,
points.
I swear I'm going to have to take a level in Barbarian.
I'm
She's
waiting for
so
just like an
angry.
angry little squirrel just be like,
Can you imagine a Barbarian monk
Yes.
combo?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh no.
specifically a squirrel.
It's like
Barbarian
the
monk.
most serene rage you've ever seen. You have to stop
I
it.
hate you.
You have to like meditate into a rage.
Whack. Bloody monsters.
Like you're
My
meditating
turn.
and you just start to shake.
Yes. Trixie, what are you doing?
I'm going to retaliate and do at least my 2 hits. Specifically, I'm going to do 2 more, at least attempt at 2 more face kicks, just like, and then turn in another one.
Okay.
Hopefully. Let's see. Wait, are those 2? Yes, okay. Just making sure I didn't pick up the D12s. That one is definitely no. And the other one is a math. 24.
24 hits.
Okay. Nope, that's a D6. I need a D8, 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 D8. Okay. That's 10 more points. I'm going to use another key point and do Flurry of Blows. Nope, other way. There we go. Okay. Okay. Ooh, nice. The first one is a math. Sorry, my head hurts so bad. 26.
Yes.
And the second one is a 20. Another 24. Wow.
Okay.
Where have you been all night?
You've been
Jesus.
hitting.
God.
Need some battle music background here.
Nope, that is definitely not a D8. That is a D10. Jesus Christ, I need light in here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the first one is 7, so plus 1 is 12 more points, and then 10 more points after that.
So describe the succession of very successful blows that you're making.
Okay. Well, the first one missed, right? I think.
Yes.
Okay.
You woofed one of them. I don't know, but you decide how you want to
Okay.
narrate the description
Yeah.
of this.
It would just be the kind of like recovering from the fumble that was falling. I misjudge just a little bit because I'm still kind of like trying to end that momentum. So I just swing a little wide with my foot. You hear me just go, "Ah!" and I proceed to literally just like Mortal Kombat, just face kick, face kick, face kick, face kick, 4 quick in succession. And at which point I am going to back up again, just to kind of rebalance myself, maybe like, I don't know, 20 feet.
What was the damage?
Immediate death.
30
Well,
something.
no, so it was the second, so it was three kicks.
Yeah.
It was 10, 12, and then 10 again.
So it's 32. Okay, cool. I did write that down correctly. So as you are you done with your turn?
I think so, yes.
as you finish, you see the one that had kind of brought that wall of force behind you. They seem to focus for a little bit, and they make eye contact with their colleague, and Jason's Earth. You see this eye contact, you're like, oh no, please don't do this. I hate these things. And suddenly gravity is messed up, and instead of gravity pulling you down to the sand and everything in this room that's inside the room, that excludes Asher and
I knew you were saying all
Tanzanite
three
as
for
you're
this.
outside this space. But suddenly everything is shoving you to the far side of the room. I need you to roll, both of you, a dexterity saving throw.
And I'm not still disadvantaged because I'm not up against the wall, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't make it.
Dex save.
I mean, you did say that you don't like this.
I
What's gonna happen is I'm gonna say
I also critically didn't make it.
what I'm gonna say is
Damn it.
she's not ready for this, and then I'm gonna fall to like wherever the gravity shifts to.
So you both fall, and you're both sliding down as gravity is reversed, but reversed in the area in which this Zerth has directed it, and you all fall, which is odd to see because you're not falling down, you're not falling up, you're falling sideways, and all the sand is falling with you, and it's as if the entire arena is suddenly against the side of the wall. However, the Zerth that was doing this just remains steady in their space, afloat, and just starts cackling.
As she finishes that, I'm gonna burn my last legendary action and teleport to stand next to the other one and just shake my head at her.
She's just still cackling and gives up her turn, but it's your turn, Jason Zerth, if you want to do anything.
All right.
Besides slap your colleague around, unless you want to do that instead.
I'm going to rush forward and let's see how many feet away was I after I teleported back to the other one? I'm just trying to figure out my movement.
You would be about 90 feet away from Trixie. So you could get there if you were choosing to fly, which you might actually have to do given that the gravity's all mucked up.
Going to the entire arena, the gravity is messed up, or
Yeah, just the arena though.
Oh.
The arena is not bigger than the gravity space.
Okay. Then I will fly because otherwise I'm going to fall from teleporting back.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to fly back down like...
Luckily, in this situation, you weren't, because you had moved closer to the edge. Nobody took any damage because it's just this earth.
Yeah, I'm going to fly like... I'm going to land like just outside of her... no, that's not... I'm going to land like 30 feet away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be like, come to me without walking. Come to me without walking.
Okay.
Do it again.
Trixie. This Zerth that's supposedly going to teach you stuff, just asks you to come at them without walking.
Okay, so just time out.
Yeah, no worries. Meadowland of your stuff. You're bringing in new capabilities.
We're trying to zen you.
I understand, but my problem / frustration is that like I can on cue use it once, right?
You have it once per day in the let me pull up the whole detailed thing here.
I might need to change what I did then. I didn't realize she could only do it once.
Oh no, she's got some really cool things. It's not in your list yet. Oh, there it is. So
but that's just like a placeholder, right? It's not those exact.
No, it's not. We're gonna muck around with it, and that's what I'm gonna see if you can do this. Like if you can do this, it'll be more than once. So go ahead and.
Okay, so just because from my understanding from the conversation we had is that there's a chance it'll happen when I use Step of the Wind. And then I can use it on purpose once a day. So that's why I was a little frustrated because I was like, I can't guarantee it's going to happen more than once.
Yeah.
So that's why when you were like, do it, I'm like, well, if I do it once, then like.
Right now, I'm rolling the chance. Right now, I'm rolling the percent dice for you.
Oh, okay.
So later on, you'll just be using it every time you use Step of the Wind, but you still have the innate purposefully doing it, and that's what I think he's trying to see if you can do is if you can purposefully do it this time.
I just like for the for the purpose of storytelling, like she doesn't know kind of how she did it, so I guess in my mind it was more like she would use Step of the Wind and then it would just happen again, and then she would try to hone it from there. So
that's what you want to tell. Do that. Go ahead and try to do it again, and then.
I guess sorry, I was feeling a little.
It's totally fine.
Pigeonholed.
It's totally fine. I'm trying to do this like storytelling version of it because I'm also curious. If you do something really cool. If we can't throw something else into
Trixie's not cool.
She is cool.
She
does
just
cool
likes
stuff.
to hit stuff. Okay. In which case, then she's going to. First of all, her tail is going to do like the thing that you see squirrels / chipmunks do when they're really pissed off, like the bristle, like a little right up the. And she's just going to say, I really hate when other people tell me what to do. But just this once, just for you. Fine. And then I'm going to try to teleport.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and pour your will into your key.
So I have to use a key point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because of what I just rolled, I think it's your turn to start rolling some stuff. Can you go ahead and roll a d8?
Wait, hold on. Hold on, I got away from my keys for a second. A d8?
Yeah.
Who's been nice to me tonight? Nope, that's not. Yeah, well, it's D8. That's fine. Whatever. 6.
Sweet. Okay. So as you roll that, or as you try to channel that. Good grief. My day today. As you try to will that into space, and without your control, you don't land on the same spell as before, but this time you've reversed gravity the other way, because this is what's going to start happening when you use it via the step of the wind. Is it's going to become a random teleportation or gravity time based.
So wait,
spell.
Was that just the step of the wind, or was that the on purpose?
So, are you trying to do it on purpose right now?
Yes.
I thought you were doing. I thought.
Oh,
Okay,
I
you don't
think
have
you-
to see. You don't have to expend a key point when. Sorry.
I mean, it's fine. Let's just go with it. It'll be a
Wait,
step of the wind one. That's
when
fine.
you're doing a once per day one, don't have to spend any key points. That's just
Right.
You get it free once a day.
Okay.
But
Right.
if you're
Okay,
doing,
so
you
the
decide.
step of the wind thing, it
Yeah.
worked.
It did work, but it was a random spell of the
Okay.
teleport or time space genre.
Okay.
And so the one you rolled with the 6 on my little table here that I'm going to have to share with you later on so that you can enjoy doing this more for yourself was a gravity, the same spell that was just cast on you,
Oh, the irony.
gravity spell. So this emerges from you, and even as you're thinking you're going to walk there without walking there, gravity reverses, and you're all going to have to roll a dexterity saving throw, including my dude.
Jesus.
I failed again.
I'm sorry for this
Okay.
taking so long, by the way.
No, this is amazing.
Why did I critically fail again?
Okay.
That is 3
so
ones in a row for saving throws. Oh my god.
everybody failed, and I have to roll some dice for how much damage we're all taking as we go crashing down to the ground.
Yeah, this is what's
Now-
gonna put me out.
You're about 90 feet from that.
Wait,
you're
slow
about-
fall. Slow fall.
Okay, so you pull slow fall and you rescue yourself.
Yes, slow fall.
Jason Surth, you as a reaction, you just pull in your monkey awesomeness, and suddenly you're slowing down in the air. And
I
you
thought you meant like monkey. I was like, wait, is he part monkey too?
oh no.
Uh-oh.
Well, good on you for you're only 60 feet, so that means you only get these ones. But that means you're taking, because that was a lot of 6s that I rolled, and a couple 1s, which isn't terrible. 12, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 points of damage to Jason's Earth, and my Earth also takes 20 points of damage.
How much was mine? 21?
21.
Okay.
It was a nice mix there of just falling damage as they both all hit. And slowly coming down to you, not walking at all, is that little squirrel. And it is the end of her turn, which gives us, if you've used all your points, I've used all my points. I think as they come down, Miserth is just going to say, I think we can work with this one.
Much potential.
She's beautiful.
I think I was British before.
I change accents every 5 seconds as it is. It's beautiful. And
She is right here.
You're very
I know
small,
I'm small.
but we like you.
you are beautiful.
Okay, now this is awkward.
You made my nose bleed. That has not happened in many years.
She's chaos that we can organize. Beautiful. And the two of them just seem infatuated with you. So Asher and Tanzanite, you've watched in the course of maybe 18 seconds the world inside of this space
Like a
go
snow globe.
nuts. It and all you see right now is sand that is trickling through the entranceway. And the Githari that is standing outside with you to let me fix this.
I'm gonna just holler out, Trixie, you good?
You can barely hear muffled through the sand as the three of you are standing on it. Sand is marvelous soundproofing.
I'm gonna take that silence as that she's totally fine and not unconscious.
And then the sand starts tilting away, and all of you, gravity seems to become restored. But there's still just a mound of sand, and the two Githzari that are with you just both push their hands forward towards that mound, and then it all seems to telekinetically move and smooth back out across the floor of the arena. And you see Trixie and these two Gith who seem very happy with her.
Is Trixie still exploding? Or is she done exploding now?
The Githzari that's outside with you looks at her and goes, she has much to do, but she is grand. Worthy one for your tutelage? And both the two other Githzari inside nod their head, and we would see you tomorrow. And then they recover, rest. Tomorrow will be harder. They turn and start walking towards their entrances that they came through. Do you try to stop them in any way, or are you just letting them go?
No, but I take my shovel out and I just like hold it up above my head and I just go.
Cue the training montage.
Yeah, so
We need to hire an animator. A little squirrel doing ninja kicks. And...
so
and then randomly just like changing directions and like falling.
over the next several days, there'll be kind of repeating of this, and they'll keep pulling you in until you ask for something else. And I'm going to actually do a bit of a downtime situation for everybody, but we're going to end our session today. What I'm going...
No, it was so good.
But what I'm going to ask is this, because we didn't get to some stuff for Asher and for Tanzanite that relates. Think about what your character would do trying to get used to this change in time, which I'm still trying to get used to because rolling on a D100 table is dangerous, apparently. Changes the story a lot. What you would do for, like, let's say a year as you try to get adapted to and comfortable with the new world order that exists. And if you need help with downtime activities, you can go into some of the guides and look that up. There's a bunch of just suggested things there. Everything from building forts to doing training to just goofing off and having a good time. Spreading your fame, all sorts of different things with that. And we can also talk about those if you want to. And what we'll do next week, and this is how we're going to end this session, is next week we will do Asher's and Tanzanite's use of their inner explosion. Since Trixie has just been deflated. She's been... all that power has gone to something useful for her.
I'm sure it deflated in the form of steam through her ears.
And then Trixie, you did some cool stuff, so that I'm going to have to talk with you about how we want to handle the random time and space manipulation type spells that might happen if you step of the wind, rather than purposefully using the blink one.
Okay.
So we can talk about how many and what dice we want to use for that, and what ridiculousness.
If you're wondering at home what the hell's going on, this is what homebrew means.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is definitely going to be a lot of homebrewy stuff, because she's definitely.
I mean, I asked for it, but I asked for it.
Yeah.
Not as in like I asked for it. I literally asked for it. So thank you to Rurik for being game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about this, and we'll talk about how your mark shows itself at some point.
Boop.
Well, you know,
Take it, what do?
it could be that your fur changes to an ethereal type thing, or it could be that you have an extra tail, or it could be like
2 tails.
Or all of a sudden I'm a naked squirrel.
That is canon.
you are
2
bald
tails.
forever. I don't know. The naked squirrel. Oh, that'd be so creepy. That would be
Instead
like
of a naked
rat.
mole rat, I'd be a naked squirrel.
Ugh.
I'd have to wear sweaters and pants.
And if you can't decide on one, we'll just put it on a random
Tanzanite
table.
can dress you up.
I am not your doll. I am not. I got enough of that from my mother. And I'm not your paper doll.
Well, thank you all for watching and enjoying our ridiculousness. Sorry if this was slow for you all. I'm trying to learn how to DM some new stuff, and I'm practicing becoming better. When we come back, I think what I want us to do, unless anybody disagrees, Jason and I kind of talked about this in Discord, but I don't know that anybody else chimed in, is that we kind of consider this a close of this season, and next time we reopen as a new season. And we can kind of like do a little bit of a introduction of the characters, where they're at now, and use that one both to expend your built-up power, but also to use some of those downtime activities to define who you are. If the three of you want to talk.
Are we doing like a 1-year time jump then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, just give a year of like, because now the world is changing how your characters settle into that space, so that way we can start fresh with a new season. And if you have any thoughts about what's happened to your character, cool. But at any rate, I love you all. Thank you very much for joining us and watching us. We're Ridiculousness. Hope you find your own pod to play with, and bye.
Okay, bye.
Wait, are we still live?
Oh, we're here.